Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I will ask you a question, and depending on your answer, I would know what kind of worldview you have, or we have. That is, depending how you see the world, you're going to give obviously a different answer. So, let me show you the title of this article that I'm going to discuss in this video, and then ask you why do you think is so. Here is the title. Coming from the Telegraph. Putin's oil tankers sail through Red Sea unscattered. Or unscattered. You know what unscattered is? With no harm, nothing, untouched. So why do you think, this is the question, that Russia's oil tankers go through the Red Sea without being attacked? Now, you probably have three answers. One is, I don't know. Okay. The other one is because the Russians made the Houthis and the Yemenis do harm, cause harm to us, the good people. Therefore, they're allies. They're hurting us. And the other answer is because Russia does not do what these guys are doing all over the globe. That is, if you don't go in a neighborhood, if I say you have nothing to do in the neighborhood and nobody attacks you, it's probably because they don't know you. You didn't cause harm over there, or you didn't bring good things like democracy, freedom. But if you are involved in that neighborhood and you go over there and as soon as you show up, you are attacked, that tells me either those guys are idiots or you did something wrong over there. You stuck your nose. So I'm guessing, I didn't read the article, I'm going to read it with you right here. I'm guessing that this story by Melissa Lawford from the Telegraph will tell us the second out of the three options. Is because Russia and the Houthis and the Iranians are bad and they're talked, USA, UK. Guarantee you that. Not because these guys stick their noses everywhere and don't bring good stuff always. Now let's start reading this garbage. Melissa. From the picture you already know, right? From the picture. Russia and Iran are closely aligned and Iran controls the Houthis. This is how the story goes here. That's the second option of the answer, the worldview. Russian ships are continuing to travel through the Red Sea despite escalating Houthi attacks on commercial vessels. Some commercial vessels. And they said which ones. Do you remember? Yeah. Tankers carrying Russian oil and container ships bound for Russian ports have not changed their paths through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait since attacks by, and we attach them, Iran-backed Houthi rebels began in October. Why? Jesus Christ. The Russian response is in stark contrast to the Western shipping companies, many of whom are redirecting ships around the Cape of Good Hope at significant extra cost and time. Danish fuel tanker company Torm became the latest company to halt all transits through the Red Sea on Friday. Experts because they're experts and we're dumbasses. We have to be explained by these idiots. Experts say the Russian response suggested they believed they had immunity from the Houthis. Why? Oh, because they're bad as the Houthis and the Iranians, North Koreans, Chinese, and others, Venezuelans, right? If these guys, every one that I mentioned, would do tomorrow, will take their pants down, bend over, and wait for Al Capone to sniff them and then you know they are good people. If they don't allow that to happen, then Al Capone will deem them bad and violating that, because Al Capone is clean as a crystal. I hate when I see this kind of moralizers. Their backyard is full of garbage and skeletons and bombardments and millions of people dead, but they somehow lecture everyone. Simon Johnson, professor at MIT, Sloan School of Management, and former chief economist of the International Monetary Fund. You already know. By the name and by Simon Johnson Monetary Fund, you already know who's who, what's what. The Russians are quite closely aligned with the Iranians on various issues. It would make a lot of sense that Iran would not want the Houthis to attack Russians. So they will use the second option out of 3. 8 tankers loaded in Russia were traveling through the Red Sea on Friday, according to BBB. A likely shadow fleet tanker used by Vladimir Putin himself to ship Russian oil above the Western price cap was also about to transit. So basically, don't do garbage in someone's house and expect that person to like you. Right? Don't do shit. Nothing should happen to you unless those people are bad. And Houthis definitely are bad because they're aligned with the Iranians, and we know because these guys are telling us they're bad. But who's the good? We are. All right. Oh, we got this Michelle Bachmann, principal analyst. So we have an expert and an analyst at Lloyd's List Intelligence, a maritime data business, said there has also been little impact on container ships traveling to Russia. She said China-controlled container ships destined for Russian ports continue to use the Suez Canal. Overall container freight through the Red Sea has plunged by 66 percentage points, I don't know, PCs, I'm guessing, compared to normal levels, according to the Kiel Institute for the World Economy. The Western ships are avoiding the key. Why only the Western? Remember, it's not only the Westerns that are really being everybody is, right? Are avoiding the key waterways as attacks on commercial vessels ramp up. 1 tanker traveling from Russia ports were targeted by Houthis in December, but this may have been a mistake. Miss Bachmann said. She said, what we are discovering, the expert, the analyst, with the Houthis is that their capabilities in terms of accuracy are not that great. She said, Iran, let me show you, Mr. I should now turn to Mr. Johnson, Mr. Simon Johnson said, Iran and Russia are closely aligned primarily because they both really don't like the West. Including the United States and Europe at this point. They are both significant oil exporters subject to sanctions or restrictions. Oh, why? Why are they under the sanctions and restrictions? Oh, because they're bad. Why? Because they attacked whom? Yeah. Or restriction on what they can sell, and they're both closely aligned with China. So we got China in there too. He added, the expert, I think the Russians are only going to take a calculated risk. The people driving the ships wouldn't want to put themselves in the line of fire. And if one of them goes down, then they would be very expensive. All right, my friends, it's clear. These are together, so that's an orchestrated by Iran, China, Russia to strike back the correct, fair, perfect, legal sanctions against them by the good side, the Al Capone side, the plantation. Oh, my bad. So yeah, why? Don't do squat. It's the same because they don't like the West. Remember when it was the September 11 attacks on the United States of America? I remember because I know that. And I heard the mass media, I watched TV at that time and find out what's going on. And they were saying, why did they attack us, those terrorists? Besides the fact that they're crazies and they want to fuck 100 virgins in wherever they go to heaven. This was the story, okay? They hate us because they hate our freedom. Yeah, man, our freedom, yeah. And they were like, getting a ball or a cock just like a bottom feeder. That's what they did. And everybody was okay with that. This was a narrative. The same here. Why are they doing this? Because they're bad. They hate because we're so good. They're just jealous. Let's bump chest. Puck. Let's go. Do you think it's like that? But it works. Why? Because the baboons surrounding us think like that. Ooh, ah. There's no gray in between. And they just still believe this garbage coming from the media. Why? They don't care. And they can't. Some of them just can't. Don't care, some of them, and some of them are just happy just to drink, fuck, eat, and sleep. And sometimes work. Yes, my friends, the Russians are not attacked because they are organizing this, not because the other guys are sticking their nose for others. We can say who, right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.